Ah, sadness. Turns out it's not actually Set. I wasn't looking close enough. That's Sobek, the crocodile-headed god, and I don't give a shit about Sobek, so I'm pretty sad at the moment. Yeah, so this was given to me by the last guy I dated, and he was actually trying to get me an Anubis necklace. Anubis is one of my favorite ancient Egyptian gods. I mean, it's like the guide of the dead and involved in embalming and taking you through the journey to the afterlife. I tend to reinterpret ancient Egyptian gods to mean something to me because, like, I mean, I'm not superstitious. Or religious in any way. It's just like I'm fascinated by this kind of stuff. And then sometimes it can be useful to have a sort of reminder. So, like when I was in high school studying for my HSC, I had a Thoth figure. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. No one knows how this shit's pronounced, so I will say Thoth. I had a Thoth figurine on my desk, Thoth being the god of wisdom, and I'm like, well, when I look at my little Thoth figurine, that'll be sort of a reminder that I should be studying instead of whatever I'm being distracted by. So that's how I use that. With Anubis being the guide of the dead, for me, that's more like to do with my depression and existential feelings, and like, I'm alive, but I'm also kind of like dead on the inside, but I still have to keep on living. So yeah, kind of morbid stuff like that, but also Anubis being a jackal, kind of looks like a dog. So, and my dog's very important to me. I called him Hope for a reason, and before that, I found having dogs really important for my mental health. Like, there's always someone to have a hug and whatever. So, on that side of things, like Guide of the Dead, dogs, yeah, it's a lot to do with my depression and thinking about death a lot, blah, 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 blah. So, Anubis, and for some reason, my brain keeps saying Horus, but if I accidentally say Horus, I mean Anubis. I'm just like, I can't be bothered to edit parts where I say that by accident. I think I've just been thinking about it too much today. Probably because Set had this big battle with Horus, and that's why Horus's name is like, even though I mean Anubis. So I'm sorry if I've said Horus. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. So, yeah, he wanted to give me Anubis, but, not exactly attention to detail. And this is what I end up with instead. And at the time I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. It looks like it's probably Set or something, and Set's kind of cool. Set is today maybe more considered to be an equivalent to Satan, but like, that's not really what it is. I know, like, in the Tom Cruise The Mummy, like, they're like, oh, he's the god of death. No, not really. He's actually the god of storms and I think the desert, and he once defended Ra from, I think, the serpent in the underworld. So Set is kind of like this complicated character that sort of had that, I guess, good to bad transition over time. I think he's actually worshipped more than we give him credit for these days, even after, like, a bunch of issues that made him less popular and demonized over time. But yeah, no, I really like Set as a character. Like, even with today's Satan image, sure, let's go for that. But I like maybe the transition from good to bad, and, so I was like, oh, I'm okay with Set, but then today I was trying to choose a necklace to go out, and that's when I realized, I was looking at it going, hang on. I mean, I probably thought it was Set because the face is a bit wonky, but when I look at it, it doesn't have Set's ears, and it's actually, I mean, now I can't focus on it, even if I, like, I don't know. Just rewind if you want to see it again. It's got the wrong headdress, and it's a crocodile, it's Sobek. And I just, like, was like, oh no, so I typed in Sobek, and yep, what do you know, Sobek. I don't even know how I remember all these weird names for the gods, but whatever. So I'm a little bit sad, and I don't know what to do with it, because Sobek is not a god that I'm interested in. It does seem to have some complexity, like a little bit, because supposedly he accidentally ate a piece of Osiris and was punished for it with having his tongue cut out, and also like is sort of violence, but also crocodiles look after their young, so it also became a symbol of protection. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really need that. So what do I do with you, Sobek? Do I just put you in my collection of Egyptian stuff and not wear you ever? I mean, I guess on the upside, finding out it's Sobek means I don't have to keep it, and with it being associated with a relationship for me, maybe I don't want it. But yeah, I haven't decided what to do with it yet. Whether I keep it in my collection or move it on, we'll see. So today actually I ended up wearing these. Hang on. I just wanted to wear the yin yang because I may have accidentally revived my sort of Jekyll Hyde obsession. I was watching this because when we were watching The Mummy, my cousin from Japan didn't understand why Russell Crowe needed injections to not turn into a crazy. So I had to explain Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and then, like, she was kind of interested in watching this, and it was sort of just on my mind for ages, and then I ended up watching it, and now I'm obsessed again! And so, if some of you have been waiting in this whole year of me YouTubing again for me to talk about Destroyer stuff, that might happen if I feel crazy enough at some point. Yeah, so yin-yang necklace, because otherwise I was just going to go crazy from not having something. But the cord that came on is kind of broken. There's this clip that pops in and out here. But for ages this has been slipping out, and I tried to crimp it back together and actually just broke it worse. So I just put the yin-yang together on another one, and that's why I'm wearing the Eye of Horus. Which has its own other meanings to me, but let's not get into that. I guess maybe I used to wear it as like a thinking about healing kind of thing, but it also has some negative associations with my ex. Not the guy who gave me this, I mean like the first one who really like was kind of manipulative and horrible to me, and I won't say any more just in case he watches ever, because I don't need that kind of drama in my life. Anyway, so yeah, Sobek, sad. What should I do with it? Should I just sort of put it in my collection? Because I do actually have a Horus necklace. It's different design, but the problem with that one is it doesn't have this cartouche style border. It's just the character holding his staff. I don't remember if there's a name for the staff. The problem is the staff is a little bit too thin and bendy, and I'm worried that if I ever wear it and it gets caught on something, that part is going to break. So that necklace just stays in my collection. And I'm wondering if maybe I should just add this to that. Sobek, hey, I don't have any other Sobek stuff. Sobek is never a god that I've sought out for my collection. So, yeah, thoughts on that. And then, for my 30th, we did end up having a bit of a family party, and so I ended up with more birthday money, and now I'm like, well, I suppose I could head up to the old Egyptian shop near my area and see if they have a set necklace, because I would like a set, dude, but Set being more of a destructive god, I'm not sure if I will be able to find him, because, you know, he's all chaos and destruction is the main association today. Today we tend to ignore, you know, Set's role as a good guy, and storms and deserts, and I think also foreigners. But I will try. I mean, that the Egyptian shopkeeper is actually kind of religious. He's into the whole Coptic Christianity thing, so I don't know that he would be interested in a Set necklace, but I can try. Failing that, internet's where you find stuff, hey. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, and let's try not to get too obsessed. I've decided that this is my favorite
Jekyll and Hyde adaptation, I thought it was roughly equal with BBC's Jekyll, but now that I'm more aware of how Moffat fucked up Doctor Who, I watched the first episode of the Jekyll BBC series last night, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can see Moffat in this so badly, and so much of the dialogue is actually really awkward, and like, well done to the actors for getting that shit out of their mouths. And yeah, some of the plotline is unfortunate. So I think this does it better. The court case isn't as bad as I remember, but it does jump around, and that's my main problem with this movie. Otherwise, I enjoy the depiction. What else? I also watched Fight Club the other night. I'm sort of going on a bit of a binge with all this fiction, and I should really stop. And I found a hilarious, summary of the Jekyll and Hyde musical on Tumblr. Oh my god. Let's not get started on the problems with that, but I've posted it on my Facebook page, so if you want to see that. But yeah, I don't know, why are there so many bad adaptations of Jekyll and Hyde? No one can get it right. It's just, it's sad. It's sad, so this is the one. If you want a Jekyll and Hyde adaptation, this is the one that I like. You may disagree. Wow, that started off as me complaining about Sobek and ended up about Jekyll and Hyde. You see how this obsession goes with me? I need to stop and move on to something else. What should I do? I don't know. I will figure it out.